cornerback and cheap shot artist Diodor Lenor was arrested in L.A. Thursday night on a charge of obstruction of justice. According to the L.A. police, officers approached a group that included Lenor and observed a gun inside a parked vehicle. When police asked for the keys, another man tossed them to Lenor. Lenor then threw the keys to a third man who tried to hide them, according to multiple reports.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Friday to everybody out there. You going to put that on over your head so that looks really natural.
Got the Mariners giveaway.
The Mariners giveaway, the
stuff.
red, white, and blue foam trucker's hat.
Yeah, let me get it on properly.
Yeah,
here.
for those of you watching on the stream, you're in for a treat.
Headphones barely fit over it.
There you go. A lot of foam there. Protection. The ball comes back at you.
I left the little form thing in there, the cardboard thing in there to get
Yeah,
maximum height.
Yeah, you want it tall.
That. Yeah, trucker's hat.
It's a good look. Yeah, so that's coming up. And the what was the other? Oh, we got the JP basketball jersey, JP Crawford basketball jersey. So some giveaways that'll be happening with your Seattle Mariners when they get back to town, but they are on the road currently getting set for that series against the Rangers. The series against the Twins not going awesome. Not the way we were hoping. They split the series, and once again, they were dominated by a mediocre pitcher who was not having a brilliant season, came in with an ERA over 5. Mariners, this is what makes it so they're such an inconsistent team, right? We were talking about all the runs. They're piling up all these runs. They put up 17 runs in the first 2 games of the series. In the last 2 games, they scored 1 combined. 1 run. One game you had no runs, 3 hits. This game you scored 1 garbage run late in the game to avoid the shutout. But you lose 10-1. I mean, it was brutal. And now you look at them and you go, they're 6.5 games behind the Astros. They still hold that 3rd wild card spot, but they hold it by a half game. So, yeah, you're still where you want to be in terms of a playoff spot, but in terms of the division, that's slipping away from you. The Astros just aren't losing.
Yeah, I mean, and they just took it to the Phillies. And, you look at what the Phillies scored 1 run, I think, in that
Brutal.
series.
Thanks for nothing, Philly.
Yeah, sucks. But, I mean, going into that game, yesterday's game where, they, like you said, 2 games, 1 run. I think they had 47 on the road trip. So, yeah, I mean, it was just this explosion, and then all of a sudden everything just died. And as Matt wrote here, we waited 4 hours for that? You got to be kidding me. I guess it was 4.5. So, yeah, it was just brutal to watch. But hopefully they get back on track and, get back down. I'm not asking for, 10 runs a game and Donnie Barrels to hit, 500, but hopefully, we get something out of the offense to back up, which really has been pretty good pitching other than, yesterday.
Yeah, and even look, in yesterday's game, Emerson Hancock does what he does. He's not a guy who typically dominates and goes deep into a game 7. He did the other start, and we all got excited about that. But he's typically, you look at his game log, he's remarkably consistent in that 5 1/3, 5 2/3, 3 runs, 2 runs, keeps you in the game. Yeah. Always on the verge of a quality start. And this game was right there. I mean, he didn't bury the team by any stretch. He did what he normally does, and I'm not trying to say he's a superstar. You kind of know what you get with him, and he's a guy who's going to give you that chance, and that's what he did yesterday. What it was, final line was
5 innings,
3 hits, 2 runs.
Yeah,
3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 84 pitches. That's kind of what he does.
Yeah.
And obviously it got out of hand when Pop came into the game, when Zach Pop came in there. Mm-hmm. There was no fire. He built a fire and then threw gas all over it. 8 runs in an inning. 7 earned, 2 walks. Brutal. This bullpen had been functioning really well, and he disrupted that. But you had Trent Thornton come in, throw an inning, and then you had Mastroboni out there throwing 48-mile-an-hour heaters. I mean, the game C, you're not going to burn a bullpen arm, so they got Mastroboni out there. It's funny how off balance hitters are because they're so used to 95 plus, 90, at least 90, right? He fired one up there. I think it hit 78. Yeah. And it looked like it was a ball, but it was just every pitch, 47, 48. You see him out front, popping it up. Yeah. Nobody's really squaring it up. They're so off balance with the eephus pitch he's throwing up there. But, yeah, it was rough. It was rough, and you look at the top of the order. JP had a hit. Julio goes 0 for 4. Cal goes 0 for 3. Rosarena had a hit. Everybody had single hits. Garver had a hit before he got hit. We'll get into that conversation. But Canzone, it was just a lot of singles, 6 total hits. So in 2 games, 9 total hits, 1 run.
Yeah, so it makes you think, okay, offensively, what is – because really, Cal is, if you look at their rankings and, on-base percentage, OPS, slug, Cal's pretty much propping that up. But you got some help there for a little while on this road trip, and now all of a sudden you're back to, this sort of blackout offensively. And I don't know, I just think I'd feel a lot better if it was just kind of evened out a little bit, but – I'm trying to figure out who this team is offensively, and we talked about like starting the season. They, were pretty decent as far as some of the offensive numbers. They were kind of carrying the fact that we had some injuries in the rotation, and just not quite sure who they are offensively.
They're schizophrenic.
Yeah, then you throw in a guy like, and I always bring up Donnie Barrels, but Solano. I mean, you're just trying to figure out who he is now, and he's got his average back up to, what did we say, it was
262 or something like
260, yeah. So who is he? That's the problem, and I'm just wondering what that's going to do as far as what are they going to do at the deadline? Are we going to say, hey, we're going to keep rolling with Donovan Solano and, the combination at first base and, Luke Raleigh is going to bail us out, or are they going to be aggressive?
Yeah, I'm not going to overreact to a couple of games, but I think you've gotten – look, you played 80 games. You have a pretty strong sense that this is an offense that can pile up runs. They're capable. We've seen it. But they're almost as capable of just going dark, which we've also seen. So the truth is in the middle somewhere. It's sort of like Polanco. His first month was just scorching hot, off the charts. Second month, he was in a deep freeze. It was Arctic. He was terrible. And then he's kind of regressed to the mean, right? He's just kind of what you hoped he would be at this point, which is he's middling. He's okay. He's okay. And I feel like that's the offense as a whole. Yeah, you've got individuals. Cal's been brilliant, obviously. JP's had a really good year. But everybody else is just kind of really up and down, and they go through streaks where, Dylan Moore is in a slump right now. He had been productive earlier. Now he can't hit. So it's just – and that seems to be true up and down the lineup. And, the idea that they would look at what they have and go, you know what, I think we're good.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a world in which that would be the case other than, we're good because we feel like we're out of it. If we get to the trade deadline and they're, I don't know, what are they, 6.5 out now in the West? They still hold that third spot by a half game, the wild card spot. But if come trade deadline time and the division looks like it's out of hand, they're double digits back. Maybe they've lost that third wild card and they're a few games out of that. Are they going to go, all right, this isn't the year to buy? What's the, I'm wondering what their marker is. Like, do we have to be within, we got to be within 5 games of that wild card spot, or we're sellers.
Right.
I don't know what their plan is. I'm just throwing it out there if they've got a number in mind in terms of how close they are.
Yeah, and just trying to figure out who they are. And we've asked this question a number of times, but in Philadelphia, they had 1 run in 3 games against Houston. I mean, if you're there, you're going, well, this is absolutely just an anomaly. I mean, you're facing some good pitching and everything, and it's a really good team in Houston, but, you're like, that's not us.
Right.
But for Mariner fans, you're kind of like, That might be us.
That might be us a lot of the time.
Yeah, and it's confusing too because Donovan Solano. We talked a lot about how he brought his average up and where he was, and he's just sticking with it. And I loved all the things that we heard from him, but now he's kind of regressing a little bit. And I saw a stat the other day. And just random stat, MLB. It was like MLB Central or something. 2 outs, and I think it was 2 outs and runners in scoring position. The Mariners, Polanco is number 1 in Major League Baseball, and I'm like, I looked it up, and sure enough, like he's batting like .462 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. But he's another guy, and the reason why I bring him up, and an example of like, who is he? This year, I mean, he started out one way, and then, he started off, with it was pretty bad, and then all of a sudden he got really hot, and so you're just like, who is he? Who is Donovan Solano? I mean, that's the part that is frustrating, and I think when you see those kinds of things, you're like, okay, let's just be that guy, so that when they get to the trade deadline, that they're like, okay, we can't carry on with these inconsistent numbers. But I mean, you want to root for the guy, but you also think the more they suck offensively, the more likely they are to go and be aggressive.
Yeah. It's been wild how extreme it's been for some of these players. We'll talk more about that. We'll also we're gonna put our reputations on the line. We're going to listen back to our predictions of this Mariners series with the Twins. That is coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
We've got some breaking news.
And the next offer on the wood. Cal swinging a drive deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
You're going to get tossed meatballs and stuff. All you got to do is connect. You have enough power. You got a big dumper. That ball is going to travel.
What would happen if you switched Cal and Judge? Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby Monday, July 14th, right here on Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Bump here for the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Last month's beach party event was such a success they had too many trade-ins and now they need to liquidate. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. Shop the Got to Go used car sales event June 27th through July 6th at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and all other Hazelwood locations. Just off the Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Hazelwood has it!
Breaking news for the people of Boomtown. With Xfinity Mobile, the Wi-Fi is booming at home and on the go.
And an upgrade storm's on the way.
That's right. And with Xfinity Mobile Premium Unlimited, you can upgrade your phone when you want, up to 2 times a year.
Now, once customers catch wind of the guaranteed new device discount, it'll be the biggest upgrade storm in history.
Wow. Let's hear from our weatherman on the scene.
How's it looking out there, Rick?
Well, Bill, the Wi-Fi is still booming!
Now through September 30th, existing Xfinity Internet customers can get an unlimited line included for a year. Plus, ask how to get a free 5G phone. Learn more at XfinityMobile.com. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Unlimited line offer requires Xfinity 300 megabit internet or above. Taxes, fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds vary.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. Olympic Series windows are offered exclusively by Harley Exteriors, manufactured right here in Washington, specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. This is the window you want. It looks absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and these windows last up to 60 years. They're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. Very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And this June, buy 3 windows and get 1 free, plus an additional $200 off your entire project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in the Puget Sound. Call 8-333-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck. And she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes. But when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Every success you've had began with a great opportunity. Now there's another one. Last aid year, University of Maryland Global Campus awarded over $21 million in scholarships to qualified students, including community college students, service members, veterans, and working adults. Now is the time to move your career forward with an online and accredited skills-based education. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Coming up at 2:30, John Morosi will join us on the program. Stay tuned for that. We got the Cal Raleigh Show coming up at 3 p.m. At 3:45, Mean Text. We'll turn you over to the pregame show at 4 p.m. So 3:45 for Mean Text. They got a lot less time to get creative, Dave. What's your level of faith?
0. Pretty much.
0.
Much like what you would call most of our texters.
Zeros. All right. 866-979-3776. Again, 3:45 Mean Text. Get cracking on those right now. Let's take 2.
Cal Raleigh is officially participating in the 2025 Home Run Derby in Atlanta. The only other confirmed player is Ronald Acuna Jr.
Nice. He's going to have his dad pitching to him. Talking about Cal, not Acuna. And he wants his brother to catch, who's 15 years old.
How cool for those guys.
And I would love this about Cal is he's remarkably consistent with his younger brother, because we interviewed him out at spring training and just, BSing with him before we started taping. He was telling us about his brother, unsolicited. And he was talking about, he gets all the gear. I give him all this gear, and he's outgrown it all because I guess he's really big. But he's like, oh, man, he's a great player. Like, he's just very in his brother's corner. And I thought that's pretty cool, man.
I saw him walking through the clubhouse it was probably like 3 weeks ago with a little kid. I don't know if it was maybe his niece. Does he have a sister, but he had
Sure.
wasn't an infant, but like it was like a 3-4-year-old. But yeah, just a great family guy. And we're starting to learn about his dad a little bit. I think it's funny that he broke his foot kicking a bat thing. And and I'm all for it, man. I think Cal I don't think that there's any chance that well, I guess there's some chance, but that it's going to screw up his swing or do anything, or he's going to get hurt or anything like that.
He's already cold. He's 0 for his last 2 games. So
that's
we don't need to worry.
Maybe they should yank him out.
He's all hype.
San Francisco 49ers quarterback Diodor Lenor was arrested in Los Angeles on the charge of obstruction of justice.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy, little cheap shot creep.
Thank you. Little creep. I still don't forgive him for sucker punching Jake Bobo. Yeah. And I remember talking to Jake on the plane. I'm like, what the hell was that? He goes, I have no idea, man. I was just standing there. I was trying to break things up.
Yeah, he had his back to the situation. He's in the middle of it, and here comes Lenore running into the pile, hitting him from behind, and then running out.
Right.
Like the little creep that he is.
But they just said, well, you said the number was $92 million.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't see it. I mean, he's got 6 interceptions in 4 seasons, but anyway, yeah. So him and his friends like.
And they're playing keep away from the cop.
Yeah, Stacy called it, and I hadn't heard this in a long time. She called it monkey in the middle.
I've never heard that one.
You haven't?
I've heard keep away, but
you guys heard monkey in the middle?
Of course.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was like, keep away. I mean, what are you doing?
That seems a bad idea with law enforcement.
Well, and also, I mean, you're making $92 million. They've invested in you. I know John Lynch, much like John Schneider, is very much a character guy. So, as you said, what a little creep.
All right, Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. All right, let's go through some of our Call It Now predictions we made for this Twins series. Let's just right out of the gate. How many games do the Mariners win out of these 4?
I'm going to go the other way on that. I'm going to say 3.
3 of 4.
3 of 4.
Flat out wrong.
I'm just going to go 2 of 4.
I'm sure Bob knows. He knows fall.
Oh, Lofa, that's just
I love hearing Lofa's voice.
Yeah, it's great. I was really hoping to be wrong on that one. To splitting, you had to do better than that, and they did not.
Well, you're not disappointed then.
I'm very disappointed. Yeah, I really wanted to be wrong on that one. Over under 2.5 home runs for Cal.
Come on, that's ridiculous. You can't expect Cal to hit 3 home runs. I'm gonna be Dark Dave in that category.
Dark Dave, Doomsday Dave.
There you go. Yeah,
how dare you go under?
Going under on that.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
You know, I don't really like Cal that much.
No, I know. You've made that clear.
He's one of the few people in town that I'm like, he's not. I don't really know about this guy.
He's not a nice guy.
No.
I'll take the under. I think he's probably going to go over, but I'll just take the under, just law of averages.
Bingo. How fun.
Well, I mean, we're just watching out for our buddy Cal.
That's right. We don't want to put that pressure on because we know he listens as much as anybody.
Oh, sure.
Over under 2.5 extra base hits for Julio.
I don't think he's going to get overly emotional about it, and he's just going to calm down. And one of the way he's going to find it is I'm going to go out there and just try to make contact with the ball, and it's just going to come to him. So I'm gonna say over.
You are living in a fantasy world, pal.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on that. I think in 4 games, again, assuming they get all 4 in, and the Twins have been giving up runs, as you just chronicled. They've not been playing well, so it just feels like it's a good setup for him. So I'm going to go with you.
Well. You blew it. Super hard. Complete buffoonery. It's hilarious, and you deserve it.
2.5. He had 2 in the opening game.
Yeah.
He had a double and a home run. So all he needed was 1 more in the 3 games that were to remain, and it didn't happen. Unbelievable. All right, quality starts. In total, 4 games. How many quality starts? Over under 2.5?
I'm going to go under on that.
Under.
Yeah, I'm going to go under 2.5.
Yeah, that's right.
Your rotation for these 4 games is Wu, Castillo, Kirby, Hancock. I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 3 quality starts.
3 quality starts.
Not great, Bob.
Way too much faith.
When you laid it out that way, I was like, oh, he might be right on this one. Just didn't happen.
Nope, it did not happen. Did not. Over under 3.5 hits for Solano.
I'll say over. I think it's going to continue. Donnie Barrels, he found the barrel, as Dan said.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right. To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people.
Just based on looking at their who they're going up against, I don't know how much he'll be out there. So I'll go under.
Pretty good.
All right. Over under
That was close.
13.5 runs scored.
I'm going to go over just on this, man. 30 runs in Chicago. That was phenomenal. And I think they're going to continue that streak.
Affirmative. I don't know what the weather's going to do. How much of a factor it's going to be in these games. I'm trying to play the weatherman here. I'll go over.
He's out of line, but he's right.
And went over. They scored 17 in the first 2 games combined and 1 in the final 2 games combined. Over under 12.5 runs allowed.
Yeah,
through
I think
the 4
it's
games.
I think probably an over in 4 games. Definitely.
Affirmative.
So if 1 or 2 of these games get canceled, we're not sticking with the same numbers, are we?
Well, no.
Yeah. So we're just gonna.
We'll just ignore it.
Wing it.
We'll just pretend we never made predictions.
Well, like I said, I don't think that it's probably they're going to get every game in. Probably.
Yeah, I'll go over, slightly over the 12.5, just because I don't know what that 4th one's going to do.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
All right, there you go. There's
strong.
There's all of the predictions made going into that series. Coming up, it's our weekly dose of Mariners optimism with John Morosi. Joins us next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
We've got some breaking news.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
If you're going to get tossed meatballs and stuff, all you got to do is connect. You have enough power. You got a big dumper. That ball is going to travel.
What would happen if you switched Cal and Judge? Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby Monday, July 14th, right here on Seattle Sports.
Summer is here. It's nice weather. It's warm. The sun is outside, and that is motorcycle weather. And I know a lot of you out there are motorcycle riders getting out on the bike as well. You know the risk we take when we're out there. We're obviously much more exposed than being inside of a car. And as everybody tells me who's been riding much longer than me, it's not a matter of if, but when you get into an accident. Luckily, again, knocking on wood, I have not been in one. But if you are injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who actually live it. That's Law Tigers. They've been part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They are available 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when you need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when you are in need the most. Law Tigers, they're out at all the events. You see the vans, you see the tents. They're out there supporting all the shops, all the clubs. They're always by your side. And as always, your case evaluation completely free. They don't get paid until you get paid. No fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers. You never ride alone with Law Tigers. Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck. And she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes. But when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Do you know a woman that gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Maura Dooley here. Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. We want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help finding her. Nominations for the 4th Annual Women of Inspiration Award are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman at woiseattle.org.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Heward here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come work with IRG. And Shannon, what kind of staff are you looking for at IRG?
Brock, we're looking for all kinds of clinical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, certified occupational therapy technicians, physical therapy assistants, you name it on the clinical side. We are looking for those folks. But we are really looking for folks that want to come to an organization that want to be part of our culture and change the culture and work with us to provide the best care and service we can to our patients, our team, and our community. So those clinical people out there, we're looking for you. We also provide advanced certification. We want to provide you mentorship. We want you to grow personally and professionally here at IRG.
With over 40 clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, you've got the opportunity to work in the city you want. Just head over to irgpt.com/careers. That's irgpt.com/careers.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then once you're all settled in, your Orchard agent helps sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one Orchard customer said. I never could have sold without Orchard. I made way more than I expected, and it couldn't have been easier. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
I've never heard a person walk out of a stadium and say, wow, I wish that game would have included more waiting.
He is an endless source of baseball and hockey knowledge.
José Berríos, el lanzador de Puerto Rico, el Clásico Mundial de Béisbol.
Sean Morosi, every week with Wyman and Bob.
You're being serious with me right now?
This is the man we turn to when things aren't going the way we want them to go with the Seattle Mariners. He joins us each and every week on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Our buddy, our pal, John Morosi is here with us. How are you, my friend?
Bob and Dave, I am outstanding, and I do have a question for you. Are you trying to suggest, based on the fact that the trident on your hat is actually pointing sideways, that the Mariners are going sideways at the moment, that things are not going down the tracks the way you want them to go?
Well, this is the Everett Aqua Sox hat. So, yeah, and it is sideways. It is a little this is a hard team. 80 games in, we still don't have any idea who this team is, John. They put up 17 runs in the first 2 games of the series. The last 2, they score 1. And you get shut down by mediocre pitching, and just they make guys that are otherwise having a rough stretch look like Cy Young. And it's sort of been their history where they'll find a guy, he's coming in with an ERA over 5. You look at his last 4 starts, he's got an ERA of 6 for the month of June, and all of a sudden they find it against the Mariners. It's uncanny.
The mercurial Seattle Mariners. I think that is the description we could give them. And yes, by the way, my apologies to the Aqua Sox. They have changed their logo since the time that I drove up there during my season covering the Mariners to cover the Northwest League debut of a young Michael Saunders.
Wow.
Speaking of Michael Saunders after that game. So I have been to that beautiful ballpark in Everett, hometown, of course, of Grady Sizemore, Everett Cascade High School. I remember that well. So I would say this, that the Mariners are exactly what their record says they are. They are an average team right now that probably has a higher probability of making the playoffs than they deserve, if I could be that candid at the moment, just based on the way the American League looks, that most teams in the American League, if your name is not the Orioles, the White Sox, or perhaps the Athletics, you're basically in the hunt at the moment. And I think with the Mariners, a couple things stand out. At least now Logan Gilbert has made it back. The bullpen is solid. For the most part, they have chances to win games. Offensively, we know that Raleigh is basically in a two-man race with Aaron Judge for the MVP at the moment. He has been sensational, historic, and that's important. I think you've seen some strides of late from Solano. Getting Raleigh back is helpful. But there are too many empty spots in this lineup against good pitching. And I think that's what you're getting at, that they're just not a consistent enough threat 1 through 9 every night to be able to chase down a team that, dare we say, the Astros now have a comfortable lead in the American League West, a 6.5 game lead as play opens today, tied for the second largest lead that any team has in all of Major League Baseball. I did not think I'd be saying that about the Astros 6 weeks ago, but here we are again. So I think for the Mariners, whether it's an upgraded second base, an upgraded third base, an upgraded DH, there are a third of their lineup can credibly be improved upon, which, hey, gives you some good canvas to talk about, to potentially search for upgrades. We all of us that follow the Mariners would like to say, sure, we'd like to see the Julio of 2 or 3 years ago be the Julio of now, but that's just not the present reality. So I think that's one other issue the Mariners have to tackle, but there's not much they can do with that from a roster management standpoint. They need to probably make a move or two, but the gap between the Astros and the Mariners is wider than I ever thought it would be, really at any point in time this season, but certainly not this quickly the way the Astros have played over the last 6 weeks or so.
Well, JP, you touched on Donovan Solano, and it just kind of fascinating because he's got his average back up to 263, and he had 10 RBIs on this road trip, and and look, he's got his average back up to what you see career-wise, but we were just wondering, like, well, maybe this is it for his career. He's not going to get there, and he did, and it was just one of those very surprising things. And then they DFA Tellez, and so they made the right move so far. Anyway, what do you take from his play over on this road trip?
Yeah, I think it's a great point that he probably benefits, and whether it's consciously, subconsciously, from knowing now that he is going to get that job and play on a consistent basis. He came up as more of a middle infielder, more of a second base / third base type of a player, but as he's gotten older, I think it's natural to move him to a corner, and it's just it's where he fits the Mariners the best. It's where they needed the production, and I think more than anything, Donovan Solano's favorite position is in the batter's box. So he's probably not going to be the DH. And again, even there, you're not going to get consistent at-bats because Raleigh is rotating through there. They're still trying to get Polanco going. So first base is basically the spot where you can get your most consistent work. And I just think that he's one of those guys that, the basketball saying, shoot to get hot. He has to kind of shoot to get hot a little bit in terms of just getting his at-bats and getting into a rhythm. He's in a rhythm now. So don't change that. Let him go. Let him do what he's doing. And that's why I very purposely didn't mention first base a second ago in terms of a spot where I could see the Mariners looking to upgrade. It's just right now, my eyes certainly are telling me that Solano is, if not back to being the star-level player he was with San Francisco a number of years ago, he's an above-average bat right now. And so first base for me is spoken for. The larger question I have is how long can they go with both Young and Williamson playing every day or close to it as rookies, and really neither one of them producing much offensively. And I think that is what I see with this team. Is there a possibility of bringing in someone like a Ryan McMahon from Colorado? I do think they just had a change in executive leadership at the top within the last couple days. Maybe that indicates that they're going to be a bit more open-minded to really making some moves. The Rockies have been way too quiet for a team that's playing as poorly as they are. And so for me,
they're only 32 and a half games out.
Maybe that's finally signaling, guys, that Ryan McMahon could be available to a team like the Mariners. And I think he would be phenomenal in a Mariner uniform. Grew up in California, so he's a West Coast guy. I just think he'd be an excellent fit there. So stay tuned. But I think that the Mariners' needs are becoming ever more clear. And I think it's a good thing, to your question, Dave, that they seem to have solved the first base question from within. Tough to let go of a guy that is as respected as Tellez, but Solano was giving them a huge pick-me-up at first base.
So let's assume they're roughly where they're at now come trade deadline. They're 6.5 out, 7.5 out in the division. They're right now they have the third wild card by a half game. So let's just pretend they're in that spot when we approach the trade deadline. I'm just trying to figure out what their marker is where they say, you know what? I don't know if we're buyers. I wonder if they're like double digits out in the division and maybe they're 4 back in the wild. I'm trying to figure out where we're buyers, we're sellers, we're standing pat, what their philosophy is going to be with this.
Well, I think actually it would have to take a fairly significant tumble for them to not be buyers at the deadline.
You base that on the AL being so weak and specifically the AL West being as bad?
Yes, and the context of their season. For example, presented with the same circumstances, the Kansas City Royals, the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners, I believe, would be more aggressive than the Royals. The Royals made the playoffs last year. They won a round. They won 4 games with the Yankees. They've got good pitching, but their offense is further away from being a playoff caliber offense than the Mariners' offense is. And again, the Royals made the playoffs last year. They checked that box. I realize that the Mariners won a round against Toronto several years ago now, but that's like ancient history, okay?
Yes, it is.
The Mariners they have gotten so close with this amazing pitching staff too many times to just kind of let this opportunity go. And I do think the front office, for a variety of reasons, seems to be a bit more aware of how the fan base feels, and the two of you are living it every day. You hear it every day. The fans are waiting for something to happen that tells them that their front office deeply, truly cares about investing in going for it, so to speak. And this is, you're 6.5 games back of, I'm not going to say that the Astros are a shell of who they used to be, but they're not as formidable as they used to be. They're not as feared and deep as they used to be. Kyle Tucker is gone. Bregman's gone. They've got a lot of Altuve is not exactly the same player that he was. Alvarez has been hurt. There's no way that team should be 6.5 games out of the Mariners right now. They shouldn't be. And I think that there's just enough of that, you know what, let's prove something here. We got a catcher having arguably the greatest power hitting season that a catcher has ever had in the history of Major League Baseball. Been a lot of really great players that have played this position in this sport over the history of the game. And right now, Cal Raleigh is basically outperforming all of them at that position. You can't just sort of hum your way through a season like this and hope the pitching ends up being good enough. I mean, again, I reiterate, unless I see something definitively great from the likes of Castillo and Gilbert here in the next couple weeks, I would go out there and get another starter. I mean, that to me is at least as much of a concern as the lack of offense. I don't think you can assume that all of a sudden Castillo is going to bounce back to being a 2.5 or a 3 ERA guy over the full season. I think that you need to build in a bit more security around Wu. As great as Wu has been, it's a team that's good enough to make some upgrades. So my long way of answering the question is, I really see no way that they're sellers. No way. Maybe if they dip below 500, maybe it's more of a tepid buy. Mm-hmm. But they should buy. This league is there for the taking. Okay, it is. And the Yankees, they don't have Garrett Cole. They don't have Juan Soto, guys that helped to make the World Series last year. This is the year that unless you're clearly not good enough, and I count 3 teams that are clearly not good enough, you should be buying at the deadline in the American League.
It seems like there's like a groundswell of support all of a sudden nationally. We heard from Amsinger and Harold Reynolds just about what Cal is doing, not just offensively, but, the fact that he has to put a cup on and squat and all of that. And now he's going to play in the home run derby. He's going to participate in that with his dad pitching, which is really cool. But, how much can that help him? Let's say Cal, first of all, hits from both sides of the plate. If he wins the home run derby, is that going to be a significant notch up for him in the MVP race?
So it's a great question. I actually was thinking about this earlier today, partially because yesterday I talked to my brother, who is a baseball fan too. It's not going to surprise you. Lives in Tennessee, and we were talking about just baseball writ large, and he actually said, Hey, Bub. Bub is my family. Hey, Bub, what can you tell me about Cal Raleigh? I don't know anything about Cal Raleigh. I'm like, dude, are you not listening to Wyman and Bob? I mean, like how do you not know enough about Cal Raleigh? He coaches Little League. He's got he's a busy guy as a dad. But I said, Mike, come on, man. Like this guy's amazing. He's right there in the MVP conversation with Aaron Judge. But that's a good point. Okay, that's a good data point. My brother loves baseball. He plays in a men's league. He coaches his kids. Loves the game. But he needs to learn more about Cal Raleigh. Okay. And so now I think that having his dad pitch to him, which is great, of course, grew up as a son of a coach, and so it's a perfect story.
Right.
That I think that more baseball fans, like my brother, are going to get a chance to learn more about the guy that we talk about every week, which is great for him. I think the MVP conversation is totally separate because now you're talking about the hyper-focused 30 people who have that ballot and watch the American League carefully every day. So I think that writ large, the home run derby is going to be great for his notoriety and his profile. I think the American League MVP voters are going to really focus in and say this, that do I see enough of any kind of tangible impact on the pitching staff, on sort of the non-obvious numbers, let's say, that Raleigh brings in the terms of how you view the catching position? Do the Mariners make the playoffs? There's a long debate about if that should matter. I do think it matters on some level. How much it matters is, again, up to every individual voter. Aaron Judge will probably have the better wins above replacement at the end of the day. He does as of today. And so there's no real wrong answer here, to be honest with you. But I think that it's, for me, it will definitely help Cal if the Mariners, A, make the playoffs, and if, B, the starting pitching plus him ends up being the reason why they do it. I'm trying to think of the narrative here, because I am someone who believes, for example, why I believe that Yadier Molina, as soon as I get the ballot, I'm just checking his name, 100% easy, Hall of Famer without a doubt. Because I just think catchers are not, you can give me every wins above replacement number, defensive framing, all that stuff, for reasons that the three of us have talked about at length for a long period of time. There is no number that's going to be able to fully describe why Cal Raleigh is so important to the Mariners. And so if Aaron Judge goes out and hits 64 homers and Cal hits 50, to me there's no wrong answer there. And I want to get out in front of the story and say this. If someone votes Aaron Judge 1 and Cal Raleigh 2, it's not as though you voted against Cal Raleigh. You voted for Aaron Judge, and Raleigh was second. Now, if you voted Judge 1 and Raleigh 10, we're going to have a conversation about that. But 1 and 2 is fundamentally different, and
it's not like voting against service or anything for manager of the year.
Right?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
What did you? I think what was the phrase there? The worst of the winners. You voted him the last of the winners or something like that. I voted him third. It's like, oh my God,
out of
Morosi.
3.
Yeah, third out of 3. The least of the winners or whatever it was. That was a great episode, by the way. That should be part of the new the rejoin all the time. But anyways, I do think that. The best I can tell you, and I don't even know honestly if I'm going to have the MVP ballot this year. It's a great discussion. I think we just got to wait and see. You might say that again. Judge has the higher wins above replacement. He's slugging like 700. I mean, it's unbelievable. And yet, one key difference, and this is important to point out, is that because of the way the Yankee lineup works now, Judge does not have to play center field. Basically on a daily basis because they now have Grisham and they've got Bellinger. They've got different guys that can fill in. And I think that is something to keep in mind. That a big reason why that I said it was without a doubt case closed when it was Judge versus Ohtani in the American League. It was, listen, Judge is playing center field, okay? It's a different level of value.
Yeah, it's premium position.
Premium position. And so, again, still a great player, obviously. Judge now offensively, this is the absolutely bonkers thing to say. He's better now than he was when he hit 62 homers. Like, it's just unbelievable.
Better hitter.
He's a better hitter.
Yeah.
Just think about that. And so he's great. Like great of the great. What he's doing right now is unbelievable. And so Raleigh is basically competing against someone that we've just never seen someone be this great for this long. It's unbelievable what Judge is doing. And so I think that there's two right answers, and we got 3 months left. And I'm glad that I don't have a ballot to mark right now because I just don't know what I'd do. It's just there are 2 great cases right now, and they're both equally strong.
Well, don't vote for Cal last.
Yeah,
okay?
That won't happen
last.
Yeah,
the last of the winners, I think. Is
that's
how
right.
That was an all-timer.
John, quickly before we let you go, Cal's going to be in the home run derby, and depending on how he does, we know how that can grow a profile because it did it for Julio, even when he didn't win. Do you ever fear though the second half swoon, the drop off? I was telling Dave that started for me with Bobby Abreu. That's where that sort of fear was born, that he's on a tear going into the home run derby, participates. He's not the same hitter after the derby, whether they change their swing or what. Something happened to the rhythm, and then thus the fear was born. If you participate, you're not going to have that same second half. Do you buy into any of that? Do you have any other examples outside of him that were extreme leading into it, and then they were just a different hitter coming out of it?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think there was one mini slump that Ryan Howard had one year. Prince Fielder seemed to always do great no matter what. Soto was great before, won it, and was great. I don't think I don't see too much of a concern. I think Vladdy's numbers might have gone down a bit when he had a long and won it, obviously, several years ago. I'm not terribly concerned. Rutschman comes to mind. Obviously, he hasn't quite been the same player. It's not because of the Derby. He's just kind of diminished a bit. I think I'm fascinated whenever a switch hitter does it, because then you just have the ability to I think sort of maybe minimize the fatigue. So I'm going to say this. Not worried at all about Cal doing it. I think it's a great story, and the balance of the swing will allow him, I believe, to ride through whatever ups and downs he might encounter that night and beyond. But I'm excited. He's going, of course, close to home. It's going to be a great story for him.
John, as always, great stuff. We appreciate you, my friend. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk next week.
Sounds great. We'll talk next week. We'll have a full Kraken free agency and draft to break down. Jason Bottrell is on the clock. The former Michigan Wolverine. He's got a big. Hey, they brought in. I thought it made Marchman. I like that trade there. So the Kraken, I think, are doing some good work there. Joe Veleno as well, former Red Wing. Good stuff.
We'll talk about it next week.
Thanks, Bub.
Looking forward to it. All the best, guys. Thank you.
See, there's Bub. There's John Morosi. Love the conversations with him each and every week. Always great stuff. Coming up, soon to be Home Run Derby winner Cal Raleigh sits down with our very own Shannon Dreher for this week's installment of the Cal Raleigh Show. It's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
It's a Wild West showdown as the Mariners open a 3-game stand against the division rival Rangers in Texas. Tonight, Logan Gilbert takes the mound as the M's go for a series opening win.
Swing and a miss for strike 3, and Logan strikes out the side here in the bottom half of the second.
Mariners, Rangers, first pitch 5:05. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 4 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Wait, if I work today, why should I have to wait 2 weeks to get my money? With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years? Like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models. Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Los Angeles Angels manager Ron Washington will remain on medical leave the rest of the season. The team making that announcement today. Ray Montgomery will manage the team for what remains of the season, and Ryan Goins will serve as his bench coach. Washington, who's 73 years old, was placed on leave last Friday because of an undisclosed medical issue. Meanwhile, Mariners getting back to it today. Game 1 of their series with the Texas Rangers in Texas. Logan Gilbert taking the hill for your Seattle Mariners. He faces off against Nathan Eovaldi. You can catch all of it starting at 4 p.m. with the pregame show, 5:05 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
A reminder, we've got Mean Text coming up at 3:45 today because we turned you over to the Mariners pregame show at 4 p.m. So you've got about 45 minutes to get creative at 866-979-3776. Do your damage, Dave. You're underwhelmed.
It's terrible.
It's terrible?
Yeah. Matt, have you been keeping track of any of these? I mean,
I don't really bother anymore. What would be the point?
Yeah, they're just bad.
Well, they got to give us something to work with.
Dumb.
Are you out of mean things to say to us? Have you lost all your creative juices? Yeah. You're starting to like us now? Is that what's going on?
Not funny. Not creative.
They can't bring themselves to be mean to us.
Bob told you, keep it creative. There's nothing.
Was I asking too much?
Yeah, much too much.
Hey, Ian's here, and he's a Red Sox fan. So if you want to throw some
there we go.
mean text his way, he's earned it, by God, just by being here. So, again, 866-979-3776. We'll do that coming up at 3:45. But time now for the latest installment of the Cal Raleigh Show.
Here's Wyman, pitch to Cal, swinging a drive. Way out of here to right field. Cal Raleigh with a home run.
He's the best catcher in baseball, and he's on Seattle Sports Thursday afternoons all season long on Wyman and Bob. It's the Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
With Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
Cal, it's good to be on a field where we're not afraid of the sun right now. How grueling was that series in Chicago for all of you?
Yeah, it was really hot. I mean, obviously being in the Pacific Northwest, we get some nice summer, some nice weather. So obviously not used to that heat, but both teams are having to deal with it. And I think you saw it in game 2, Trent and the bat boy and umpire all went down. So it's kind of crazy how hot it was.
How much fluid do you drink to get ready for something like that? Are we talking gallons? What are we talking?
No, I mean, you just drink a normal amount of water. So water, and you mix in some electrolytes, and make sure you get enough salt and eating, and you don't want to drink too much because then you overdo it, and so there's a right amount.
What happened between game 2 and game 3 as these things fly around? You're welcome to, like,
I know, right?
some Midwest something seed pod or something has exploded here. Game 2 looked just absolutely miserable for you guys, and obviously you're not used to that. You had the wind, you had the extreme heat, and game 3 you guys came back and it was like, okay, we're going to play the conditions here. And you guys, I know that's the game that you have to play at Wrigley, you have to put your foot on the gas, but you guys didn't let up. Was there kind of something you took from game 2 into game 3 and maybe just even recognizing, okay, this is what it is that helped?
I mean, yeah, we had, you know, I think it was big jumping on them early. Obviously, you know, that ballpark, no lead safe, so just keeping the foot on the gas, and we were able to, you know, create some traffic and create some runs, and obviously, you know, hit a few balls up in the air. And when you get the wind blowing out like that, it's usually going to do you some favors. So we were able to do that, get that done, and get some people on for some traffic. So that was huge, and you know, got a good enough start from Logan. And you know, if you ask him, he probably was not too happy about it, but you know, it wasn't terrible at all. So
He wasn't. He had 18 swing and miss. It looked like the slider and the splitter were working well for him, and he wasn't happy after the game.
Yeah, but you don't want your guys to ever be happy. So
He'll make sure they're not. Is that what it is?
That's right.
Okay. Hey, what's it like? What does it feel like? What is it just? I mean, I think it's one of the ultimates in a game situation in baseball to literally hit a ball out of a ballpark. What is that? You did that at Wrigley. What was that moment like for you?
I didn't even know it was out of the ballpark until seeing the video later. So pretty cool experience, and you know, it's kind of a cool bucket list. I don't even know if it's on the bucket list, but you get to say you did it. So kind of like there, and hit one out of Fenway, and pretty cool, right?
Yeah, you need to open up the roof in Houston, hit one out there too. That's one of the possibilities.
It's too hot there for that.
Rather have it closed. So when we did this last week, you were kind of in a spot, I don't know if you would term it a struggle or not. It was, I believe, 7 games without a home run, which is very human, to say the least. I thought you were a little grumpy last week. I don't know if that's true or not. What were there things that you were trying to accomplish, or that kind of trying to hurdle to get over, or was that just kind of a normal span for you right there?
No, I mean, I think home runs come in bunches. I think that's how it goes, you know, especially for me, and I think that happens to a lot of guys. You know, you see Dom Canzone right now. He's got a good bunch of homers going. Solano had a nice little bunch of homers the other day. So it's kind of funny how baseball works, you know, when it's, you know, you can get pitched really tough there for a stretch, and then for a stretch, it seems like everything you get is in the middle of the plate. So it's just kind of how the game goes. It comes in waves like that. So, yeah, you just, you know, kind of ride out those waves, and you got to be ready for when you do get those mistakes. But you also have to understand, you know, when you are and aren't getting pitches to hit, so and not getting too frustrated with that.
Was that a situation where you weren't getting pitches to hit?
I was talking to the hitting coaches, and I did think I was getting pitched a little tough, and you know, you start looking for answers, you start searching a little bit, but you know, in reality, like you said, you know, nobody hits good pitching. So when you're facing good arms and they're locating and they're executing their pitches, then sometimes you just got to tip the cap and realize that, hey, it's not me, it's baseball, it's how it's going. And you know, it seemed like that was kind of going on with the whole team. It wasn't just me. You know, we were getting some bad luck there. We were, you know, felt like we were throwing well, and then, you know, have that one hit fall in on the other team that we just couldn't seem to get. So that's just kind of how baseball is sometimes.
How good was it to see Julio hit that home run last night?
Yeah, it was good. He went down and got it. I think it was a changeup below the zone. One Bailey Ober's better pitches. So, you know, it was good. He had a good game. Big two RBI double as well. So, big game to get him rolling and try to get him get a few more of those would be great.
He's so capable of that. It's not the easiest thing to do. You know more than anybody. Do you think maybe getting that feel a little bit, and I've seen him put in the work. He's been in the cages quite a bit, particularly the last few days. What do you think that does for him?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's nice to see one off the bat go out of the park, right? And you get that feeling and you get that confidence, and you know, it's a funny game once you gain a little confidence and you get that kind of swagger back, and you get you know, just get that feeling, and then you can kind of start rolling. So you know, hopefully that can, you know, propel him and him start hitting some balls out of the park. And it's always good when guys are hitting balls like that. So it's a contagious thing, I think. You know, we see a few guys starting to hit really well, and things are rolling. So just gotta keep it going, keep her head down, and keep continuing to get better.
He said something interesting last night. He said you guys are playing to your identity right now. And I think that when we all saw kind of the offense in April and the power, we thought, well, it's early right now, but you're showing again as a team that you can do that. How much identity is the offense a part of the entire picture right now? And going forward, do you think that is a big part of who you guys are right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think if we want to be that complete team, then we do have to show up every day offensively, you know. Obviously, you know, like I said, you're not going to be perfect every day, and there's going to be days when, you know, you're not getting those extra base hits, or the luck's not falling your way, but you need to show up every single day, and we need to be a consistent offense that puts pressure on the defense and on pitching staffs. And, you know, that starts with the top of the order getting on base, setting the tone for the middle of the lineup. And what the bottom part has been doing is really good too. So they've been kind of turning it over really well, and, you know, doing the little things like we always talk about, running the bases well, stealing bags, putting pressure on them, you know, putting balls in play with 2 strikes. So when we're doing that, we're a really good team. It's just how consistently can you do it, and just showing that every single night, and knowing that if we do that, we're going to be where we want to be.
Your consistency has been there throughout the season, and that's something that you pointed to, and you staying the same, and the results should be the same, and ultimately kind of month by month, we're seeing that sort of. We're also seeing the numbers actually improve. We, in June, have seen your strikeout rate take a dive. We have seen the power where it is. We've seen you hit more balls in the air. We've also seen you with fewer pitches per plate appearance. How much of what you are trying to do right now is kind of your plan when you get to the plate, and how much adjustment on your part is going on, knowing that they're going to adjust to you, that you're kind of the guy in that lineup right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's always that cat and mouse that we talk about, right? With, you know, the league adjusting to you adjusting to the league, and it's constantly, you know, going back and forth. So, but I think at the end of the day, you know, it's baseball, and you want to be ready to hit the pitches that you need to do damage to, and that's usually around the heart of the plate, and understanding yourself as a hitter. What do I like to look for, and combining that, and really just being ready to go every single pitch, you know, because, you know, you never know what's going to be the first pitch or sixth pitch of an at-bat that you're going to get that mistake that you got to be ready for, and you don't want to miss it, and you want to be timed up and ready to go for it.
So are you just seeing that earlier in at-bats now? Is that why you're...
Yeah, I mean, you know, like we were talking about earlier, you just kind of it goes through phases, you know. It feels like, you know, there'll be a week-long stretch of first pitches in the heart of the plate, and then there'll be a week-long stretch of first pitches that aren't even close, or they're hitting the edges and they're executing. So it's just how it goes. It's just about being ready, and being ready for where you want the ball, and then if it's not there, just shutting it down.
How much of that, your team has that too? You guys have got the most first pitch home runs right now in baseball. Has that kind of been ingrained into you? Has there been eye-opening? Are guys looking at what you're doing and seeing that? I mean, how much has that played into, and planning for that matter?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been taught from a young age to be ready to go first pitch, and you know, I think that kind of falls into what every pitcher wants to do, right? Most pitchers in the league, they want to get ahead, and it's no secret, you know. It's kind of what makes pitchers successful. So being timed up, being ready to go, knowing what you're looking for early in the at-bat, you know, try to stay out 2 strikes, right? Because 2 strikes are, it's hard for anybody. It doesn't matter how good you are in the league to hit with 2 strikes. Obviously, it's going to happen around 50% of the time, every single, over a course of the season for every hitter usually. But if you can stay out of those counts and be ready to hit early, you can be in a good spot.
Where would you say you are right now? What spot are you in? When you look, and I don't know if you look at your numbers at all, but what do you like about what you were doing? What do you like about your at-bats right now?
think I'm just, you know, I look back on each day and I'm really just focusing on my approach and really just checking boxes in that sense, in the sense of each day, you know, was I committed to my approach? Did I go out and execute what I was trying to do? And the result is what it is. You know, it goes back to swinging good pitches, being ready to go, being on time, staying through the middle of the field, things like that, and really not worrying about the rest of it. But if I can control those things and doing those things right, then I know that the numbers will be where I want them to be at the end of the day. But, you know, did I go up there and did I accomplish what I was trying to do in those pitches that I saw? And, you know, sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. And if it's no, you go back and look and you adjust and tell yourself why. And then you usually go back to what makes you a good player. And that's adjusting your sights, thinking more center field, maybe trying to make more contact and not trying to drive the ball as much. So,
do you find yourself getting back to that quicker than you have in the past if you get off base a little bit?
Yeah, a lot quicker. It's just learned, you know, I've learned over time. You know, it's my swing is my swing, and a lot of the time it's not because I messed up or it's not because my swing's bad. It's just because maybe I came off my approach, or maybe the pitcher just made a really good pitch and he got me out and he got tipped the cap sometimes. So it's just a lot more consistency in my approach in my day-to-day rather than constantly having to change something or go down different paths or reasons why I'm getting out, when in reality, you know, there are usually a couple of reasons why.
We're going to talk about the home runs. I don't know why we tiptoe around you about it, but we do. Yesterday was huge. I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. didn't do it. Alex Rodriguez didn't do it. You put up your third straight 10 home run month. They had them, but not consecutively. When you are on that kind of a roll, and it's not even a roll, this is who you are right now, this is what you are doing, how do you kind of compartmentalize or kind of put into perspective what you are doing with the home run right now?
I don't really think about it too much, honestly. I mean, you know, I guess it's hard not to see it and realize what's going on, but, you know, I think it's one of those things where, you know, as long as I'm helping the team and I'm accomplishing what I want to do in the box and, you know, I'm dying on my terms, then, you know, I'm okay with what the results are. So, you know, like I said, home runs come and go and they're cool. And, but right now I'm just, you know, each day I just kind of reset and get back to the mentality of, you know, what can I do today, help my team win, and just realize, you know, nothing is going to be given to you today. You got to go out and earn it. You got to be ready to go, and that's kind of the mentality I'm just taking into it.
You're far too young to have remembered the big home run chases, but are they things that you've ever kind of kept an eye on? I mean, obviously we were just in Chicago. Sammy Sosa came back. That's before your time. Bonds, he might have been just a little guy when he did what he did. There's the number 61 in the American League, and Judge got it, topped it 2 years ago. Right. What are kind of the numbers that just kind of, as a fan, had jumped out at you?
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Bonds when I was young, you know, the early 2000s. That's right around the time where I could start comprehending and understanding baseball and watching it on TV. And obviously what he was doing was ungodly in another universe. So it was really special. And, you know, the Sosa McGuire, they were right around the time where I was a little kid, or really young, on 2, about when that race went on, 1, 2 years old. So, but they came out with that big documentary a couple of years ago. I believe 30 for 30 did it. And I got to watch it, and it was incredible. And it was just so cool. It's so great for the sport of baseball, right? Just, you know, that whole thing and getting people to watch it, and, you know, how invested they were, and how cool it was, too, because they were in the same division, and they were going at each other. Yeah. And, yeah, it was a really cool thing and just great for baseball.
How much fun are you having with what you're doing? I mean, it's fun seeing you. You're no longer a Northwest secret. We're seeing you on everything. You got some free ice cream out of it the other day. I mean, what part of that does that play in your day, your year, and in your experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool just because, you know, not only am I getting to, you know, meet all these cool people and do these cool things, but, you know, we're getting exposure for the Mariners and, you know, the city of Seattle, which I think is awesome, and, you know, doing that. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's all great, but, you know, we still have a job to do. I still have a goal in mind, and that's win a World Series. And it's nice and all, and it's great, and I want to help the team out as much as I can. You obviously want to have, individually, everybody has their goals and what they want to do, and they want to be the best they can be, and that's kind of how I see it as well. And I want to do the best I can, but focusing on the day-to-day and being in the moment and not worrying about all that stuff is the most important thing. And like I said, I'll be genuinely happy when we win a World Series, and that's kind of where my head's at. So.
That's the one number one, right?
That's right.
That's the one number on your mind.
Right.
One last question for you before we get to something really fun at the end of this. Important stretch you guys are on right now, 17 straight. What do you want to see from this team in that stretch?
Yeah, 17 straight games, tough. It'll be a good test for us, and really just looking for the consistency. Kind of where we're at. We're playing some good baseball right now, and we just got to keep it rolling. Got to keep our head down. Got to show up every single day, and got to keep putting together these good at bats, these good games, these good outings for pitchers. So, I think that's just the big thing. It's just consistently knowing what we're going to get every day. And obviously, baseball, you're not going to win every day. It's no secret. But if we can consistently show up as an offense, if we can consistently show up as a pitching staff every single day and do our jobs, then I really like where we're going to be at the end of the day. But like I said, it's just consistently day in, day out, knowing what we're going to get from our guys, and that's kind of what I'll be looking for these, next 14 games that we have remaining on this, 13 games on this long stretch.
Wherever we are.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Somewhere under the sun. The last thing that I mentioned is Cal has suggested this. You're ready to take some audience questions, some listener, viewer questions, right?
Let's do it.
All right, so there it is, the invitation. Go ahead and hit me up on social media at Shannon Dreyer, questions for Cal on the Cal Raleigh Show, and we're going to try to get to a few of them on an upcoming show. So, Cal, thank you.
That'll be great. Thank you.
There you go, the latest installment of the Cal Raleigh Show. No, Dave, you cannot submit all of the questions. Other fans have to be able to submit their questions.
I have a direct line to Shannon, and I've suggested a couple that she likes.
She might have you blocked because I think she said it was enough. Something like that.
She had had enough?
She had had enough. That's right. The Cal Raleigh Show is presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. So there you go, the latest installment of Cal, and he's going to be part of that home run derby, which is just going to be fun to watch. I assume he talked about doing it from both sides of the plate, which we saw Adley Rutschman do. Right. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. I think anything that can just bring more attention to Cal, like Shannon said, you're no longer a Northwest secret. Like everybody, it's out there. I mean, we're sitting here listening to the Cal Raleigh Show, and MLB Network had some montage of his home runs and talking about him. So, yeah, I just think the more awareness that they can bring, the better it'll be for his chance to be the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, if it's I hope that Judge remains hot, and I hope that obviously Cal remains hot, because I just think it's going to be a fascinating debate amongst voters. And I don't even really know how many. I'll have to look it up. I don't know who the voters are, or how, because we had Morosi on who said, I don't know if I'm voting. So I'm like,
he said there was 30, I think.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
But he wasn't sure if he was the vote. I'm like, does it rotate every year, or what?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you know if you're going to be a voter on that, since he's been a Hall of Fame voter for years? So it's a different process that I'm not completely dialed into, but I just want whoever is voting to be faced with a really tough choice.
Yeah.
That I don't want it to be, well, come on, he's New York, he's hitting 370, he's got, maybe he's 3 home runs away from Cal. I think there's just too much momentum on that side for Cal to overcome.
Yeah.
It just unfortunately is. I mean, again, you're in the biggest media market for the most historic franchise in baseball, and you're arguably the best player, or if not the best, one of the best players in the entire game, and you're having a season that you're having, talking about Judge. It's going to be hard to overcome that.
Maybe people, I just think this is a country that loves underdogs. And for a guy that is just such a tough guy, really. I mean, and his approach, I was just writing down, like, I don't ever worry about Cal's, as Marshawn Lynch would call it, mentals.
Yeah.
He takes care of his mentals. Well, and I don't even think he takes care of it. I just think that's who he is. He's just it just comes for him
very
naturally.
grounded. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't, I mean, look, he's going to go through some slumps, I'm sure, but I don't see it ever getting in his head. So, and then, the other cool thing, obviously, is the first thing that he mentions is, look, we want to win a World Series championship. That's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be.
I mean,
that should be the goal.
If he could just hit singles for the rest of the season and they win the World Series, that's a lot of singles probably from him.
I'll take it. He'll take it. They'll all take it. Yeah. Hey, if you missed any part of the show or you just want to go watch things over again, you can check out our Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page. You can search for Seattle Sports, Wyman and Bob Stelton on all social media platforms like Instagram and X, Blue Sky, Threads, all of that. All of our interviews, conversations are up there. So go search that out, all totally free. You can find it right there. Meanwhile, the most annoying figure in sports is claiming he'll stop being annoying. We're going to hear about that in our next Wyman. Coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
We've got some breaking news.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
If you're going to get tossed meatballs and stuff, all you got to do is connect. You have enough power. You got a big dumper. That ball is going to travel.
What would happen if you switched Cal and Judge? Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby Monday, July 14th, right here on Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for the past 23 years. And when you hear Harley Exteriors, I want you to think windows manufactured right here in Washington, specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. Olympic Series windows are offered exclusively by Harley Exteriors, and this is the window you want. It looks absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window. And these windows last up to 60 years. And they're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. And they come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty. And that means not only are you covered for glass breakage or damaged seals, it's going to help you with your resale and the value of your home. Very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And this June, buy 3 windows and get 1 free, plus an additional $200 off your entire project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more right here in the Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY. Or just go to harleyexteriors.com.
Breaking news for the people of Boomtown. With Xfinity Mobile, the Wi-Fi is booming at home and on the go.
And an upgrade storm's on the way.
That's right. And with Xfinity Mobile Premium Unlimited, you can upgrade your phone when you want, up to 2 times a year.
Now, once customers catch wind of the guaranteed new device discount, it'll be the biggest upgrade storm in history.
Wow. Let's hear from our weatherman on the scene.
How's it looking out there, Rick?
Well, Bill, the Wi-Fi is still booming.
Now through September 30th, existing Xfinity Internet customers can get an unlimited line included for a year. Plus, ask how to get a free 5G phone. Learn more at XfinityMobile.com. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Unlimited line offer requires Xfinity 300 megabit internet or above. Taxes, fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds vary.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Bump here for the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Last month's beach party event was such a success they had too many trade-ins and now they need to liquidate. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. Shop the Got to Go used car sales event June 27th through July 6th at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and all other Hazelwood locations. Just off the Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Hazelwood has it.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
He's a habitual line stepper.
What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the Why Man of the Week.
It is time for Why Man, which is presented by Mazda of Everett. And another reminder, we got Mean Text coming up at 3:45. Got a couple of funny ones that have come in, Dave.
Couple.
A couple of good ones.
Not even a couple three. I won't even say that.
Just a couple.
A couple.
866-979-3776 is the text line. We'll do Mean Text coming up at 3:45. But we start with our Why Man, and I like how Matt referred to him as the most annoying figure in sports, claiming he'll stop being annoying. He's talking about Aaron Rodgers, who was on the Pat McAfee show, apparently, and talked about his post-playing plans.
I wanted to be all in, and I had so many other things going on in my life that were taking my mind and my energy elsewhere. And that's why I appreciated how Mike was the entire time, just being able to have those conversations, honest conversations every single week was really meaningful to me. I didn't need this, I didn't need it at all. I don't feel the need to prove anything to anybody or don't have any chip on my shoulder that I need to hold on to. I don't want the attention. I know that's a narrative out there. When this is all done, you won't, it's Kaiser Sosa. You won't see me. I don't want to live a public life. That's why it's so strange what's going on right now with my private life, because I don't want to live a life in the public eye. I'm not going to be in the public eye. When this is done, I'm done, and you won't see me. And I'm looking forward to that. But while I'm in it, and for this year, I'm going to give the Steelers everything that I got and empty the tank and be super comfortable and satisfied with whatever happens.
I'm going to miss him.
I like Matt's. Is this one of the most blatant sports lies ever told? I think you have a handle on it, Matt. I mean,
you don't think he's going to go off the grid? He's just going to be incommunicado and we'll never see or hear from him?
He talks too much about it. He talks too much about not wanting to be a public figure. And so it kind of leads me to believe that he does like the attention. And, he does things that, everything that he does seems to be opposite of what he says. You ever hear that that evaluation of a person, like what they say they're going to do and what they do are two different things?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, to me, I think he's doing it like it's like a painful amount. And it's almost like he's trying to create more, like he actually wants people to try to figure out what he's doing. But he's just too cool for the NFL. I mean, he's meant for much bigger things.
I don't know. I mean, I assumed if he didn't like the spotlight, he would have not agreed to jump on Pat McAfee's show every week.
Which
he wasn't doing any of that.
Whatever you think of the show, it's wildly successful.
Yeah. And everything he says gets distributed out, and everybody picks up on different comments, and they repurpose it, and they write stories about, oh, he said this about this guy, or this about this team, or this about this incident. It all becomes news, and he's a smart guy. He understands that. But he's feeding the machine every week.
Yeah, what was the Shakespeare quote? Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what we got going here.
Matt asked the question, what is more likely for his post-playing career, actually going away or starting a podcast where he does ayahuasca with his guests every week? That I'd actually listen to. Yeah. I'd be curious to hear how are they handling this trip. Everybody's freaking out with a microphone in front of them.
There is no chance that man does not host a podcast after he's done with his playing career. He might take a year off, but he will come back.
Yeah.
There's no getting rid of him.
But does he do ayahuasca every episode? That could be rough on the body.
Ayahuasca every week, that'll do something to you. But honestly, if anyone was going to do it, it would be him.
Probably right there.
Is anybody, texters, I won't ask you guys, tried this ayahuasca thing? Because
no, I haven't. I think it's fairly intense. Like you got to go someplace specific. It's not something you can just go into your local weed store and, hey, I'll take some ayahuasca to go. No.
Nice try, narc. I'm not answering that question. Good try, officer.
Dave's trying to set you up. Thought he'd playing the cool guy.
Well, is it like illegal, or isn't it like kind of like aren't mushrooms like they grow in the wild and I don't know.
I'm not sure about the particulars with the law,
I'm not
Dave.
either. I'm not either. But it sounds like because I've talked to people about it and they're like, listen, I haven't done it. There was a production meeting we had one time. I won't say who was there or anything, but they were like, I'm really thinking about taking it. And it was somebody I respected because they said, it's from what I hear, it just like clears your mind and, does all kinds of interesting
people
things.
use it for therapeutic purposes. I mean, they've done a bunch of specials I saw on 60 Minutes and maybe Real Sports where a lot of former soldiers who are suffering from PTSD have gone on these retreats to do it, and it's in a lot of cases been extremely helpful. So, there certainly are therapeutic aspects of it.
Right.
I'm not sure if that's everybody's intention, but we'll see what he does. Meanwhile, entry number 2 comes courtesy of Torey Lovello. We saw that. Did you see that video where Ketel Marte got really emotional? There was a Chicago White Sox fan saying something about his mom who died in a car accident in 2017, and apparently he heard it, and he got very emotional over it. Here's the Diamondbacks manager talking about that.
It was a terrible moment. Fans are nasty, and fans go too far sometimes. And I love my players, and I'm going to protect them.
Your protection starts way before today, though. You guys go so far. It's up. We were talking on the air. I know you're a father figure to him, are you not?
Right, yeah. I've known Ketel for 9 years, and he's had some unbelievably great moments and some hardships as well, and some really, really tough moments in his life. And I know those. And at the end of the day, we're human beings, and we have emotions. And I saw him hurting, and I want to protect him.
Can you tell us what you told him?
I love you, and I'm with you, and we're all together, and you're not alone.
Yeah, so they kicked that fan out, and he's been banned from all ballparks moving forward, which is good. I mean, look, you have fun, rip the other team. You start talking to a guy about his mom who died in a car accident. You start going after him for that. You're a scumbag. You're a steaming pile. All right, you're a bad human being. So I've got no sympathy for that guy, and I hope he tries getting into ballparks and gets rejected. It seems like it'd be a hard thing to do, though. Like, are they going to have his picture hanging at every ballpark, and he tries to he flies out here to Seattle to see his White Sox play the Mariners, and he's going to get flagged. I don't know how you enforce it, but I like the idea of it.
Yeah, on the upside, I mean, it sure makes you like Torey Lovullo, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was out there yelling at the fan, and you see in the video, he's pointing to him, he's cursing at him, and letting him have it. And I've been to a handful of White Sox games when I lived out there. It's a different crowd.
Yeah,
it's a different crowd. A little less refined.
Right.
Remember, you had the father-son that jumped out of the stands years ago and attacked the first base ump.
Oh my God!
Remember that?
I don't.
Yeah, I think his name was William Legui.
Was that like Father's Day? What a great father-son
No, just two
project.
trash heaps that decided this will be fun. Yeah, both out there shirtless, trying to beat up and up. Meanwhile, this comes from Rich Eisen quickly. He asks if Cal has the most unfortunate nickname of all time.
Is this the most unfortunate nickname of all time?
The Big Dumper?
Or Big Dumpy? You know what I mean?
It's because he's got a big butt, obviously, being a catcher.
I understand that. I get it, but... he
needs a better nickname.
That's what as you know, I tread lightly on this front because I've tried giving other people new nicknames, and I've not only been rejected, but made fun of.
Yeah, I just had that one. I can't call another grown man Big Dumper.
You know what I mean? Like it's just,
please.
It's not a thing. I can't do it.
It really is. It's just like
allow that.
Okay.
Who says dumpy? I've never heard that.
I've never heard that either. I don't. Yeah, I'd never refer to him that way. I don't know. I guess
they've marketed it already. They've done shirts with dump trucks, and it's too late, man. It's there.
I guess. I tend to agree with Rich Eisen. I think it's a little on the unfortunate side. How about Big Thumper?
It's too late, Dave.
Yeah, Mike Petrillo
he's the Big Dumper.
Wrote an article about that.
It's all over.
I was asking you during the break. It was Kelnick.
Yeah,
right.
Kelnick gave him that.
Jared Kelnick gave him the nickname.
And Cal's at peace with it, and that's all that matters. So there you go. All right, coming up, it's the most cathartic segment of the week. We'll read your mean texts coming up next. You'll have a few minutes at 866-979-3776. That's coming your way with Wyman and Bob. Seattle Sports on 710.
It's a Wild West showdown. As the Mariners open a 3-game stand against the division rival Rangers in Texas. Tonight, Logan Gilbert takes the mound as the M's go for a series opening win.
Swing and a miss for strike 3, and Logan strikes out the side here in the bottom half of the second.
Mariners, Rangers, first pitch 5:05. Wyman and Bob take you up to pregame at 4 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Motorcycle riders, this is the weather we wait for, right? At least it is for me. This is when I'm out on the bike every day, rode into work today. I'll ride every day that it's sunny and over 60 and not raining. And to this point, I have not been in an accident, knocking on wood, but I know that can change in an instant. And if you're somebody out there who's been riding for a long time and maybe you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for a firm that says they're motorcycle lawyers. You got to trust the ones who actually live it, and that's Law Tigers. They've been part of the writing community for nearly a quarter century nationwide. They're there 24/7, 365 days a year, because riders deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers, you see them out at all the events. You see the tents. You see their vans driving all over. They're out there supporting all the clubs, all the shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. And as always, your case evaluation is free. There are no fees until your case settles. They don't get paid until you get paid. The Law Tigers, you're never riding alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Level up your summer projects with 4th of July savings on top brand cordless power tools from the Home Depot. Whether you're working on a fence, a planter box, or a new workbench, get the power and runtime you need with the Ryobi One Plus 18-volt 2 toolkit from the Home Depot for only $99, was $139. Get 4th of July savings on the cordless power you need to make summer projects easier than ever. Right now at the Home Depot.
When I wake up,
the best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Smoked paprika in your go-to goulash? That's go-go goulash. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion and provide better access to SeaTac. Open soon, free through summer.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Wyman
See me was yesterday when I came in to take his job.
Right. Yeah. Tim in Arizona said, my dog got bit by a tick yesterday, and I can't help but think about how useless those blood cells. .710.
We've got some breaking news.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
If you're going to get tossed meatballs and stuff, all you got to do is connect. You have enough power. You got a big dumper. That ball is going to travel.
What would happen if you switched Cal and Judge? Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby Monday, July 14th, right here on Seattle Sports.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-474-1867. 800-474-1867. Again, that's 800-474-1867.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. Olympic Series windows are offered exclusively by Harley Exteriors, manufactured right here in Washington, specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. This is the window you want. It looks absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and these windows last up to 60 years. They're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. Very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And this June, buy 3 windows and get 1 free, plus an additional $200 off your entire project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in the Puget Sound. Call 8-333-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
It's the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, June 27th through July 6th. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners.